I'm Ryan Aber from newsok.com here with Jason Kersey. And Jason, today we were supposed to get a chance to see about 20 minutes of OU's football practice. Instead, we saw a dramatic display from the OU football team. The team leadership decided not to practice today. The team, including the coaches, walked over here to the indoor facility from their locker room, arm in arm in groups, and stood here silently for a couple minutes in the indoor facility before a team prayer and walking away. What was your initial impressions just seeing that display, given what happened last night?
Well, I'm not really surprised that they didn't practice today. I thought that was a possibility, but this sign of solidarity and especially with the whole team and the coaches, it was a pretty powerful moment. And I don't think any of us expected that when we showed up here today, but those guys are certainly feeling very disturbed and upset about what happened naturally, and they wanted to, I guess, take today and not have today be about football.
And last night a video surfaced of some University of Oklahoma fraternity men, I guess, kids, I don't know what to describe them as, idiots, saying a racist chant. And, certainly our first impressions aren't that that's a sports story, yeah. But the athletes certainly wanted to let it known. Eric Stryker was one of the ones involved heavily. Zach Sanchez, Charles Tapper, they were all in the front row with Trevor Knight, Ty Darlington, and Bob Stoops as well. Bob Stoops was at a morning get-together of a lot of student athletes, as was OU basketball coach Lon Kruger. Were you surprised at that reaction from not only the athletes but the coaches?
No, I think that it's these are – they talk all the time about these guys being like sons to them. And so I think that, obviously they were going to stand with them and they were going to be part of this. And so, no, I wasn't surprised at all. I also think that Bob Stoops has to think about the future here. And, they lost a commitment today because of this video. So regardless, he was going to be here because he has to show not only his players that he cares, he has to show potential future players that he cares about these things and that he's not going to stand for it, and that these things are just as disturbing to him.
Where do things go from here? What's the further fallout from this? Do things get back to normal really reasonably quickly, do you think, or is this something that lingers?
Well, I think that's impossible to say right now. I think that it's going to linger for a little while. I think things will eventually probably get back to some semblance of normalcy, but we'll just have to see. We'll have to see how it affects recruiting. We'll have to see how it affects the current team and what they decide to do. I think that a lot of them do recognize that this was one group of idiots, and this isn't necessarily a representation of the university. But I also know that this isn't the first issue that the black players on this team have had with fraternities, and that they do see a wider problem here that they feel needs to be addressed.
All right, thanks, Jason. And for further coverage of this issue and OU athletics as a whole, you can check out newsok.com every day and every morning in the Oklahoman for the best OU coverage anywhere.